Hello and welcome to this library session. Today we're going to be looking at how students can responsibly use GenAI tools in the Southern Cross model. Whether you're using AI to get unstuck on an assignment, generate creative ideas, or explore new concepts, it's important to follow the GenAI tool use descriptors and the academic integrity guidelines. While there are many ways for students and researchers to use GenAI at university, how and when you use these tools matters. Just a reminder that at SCU we prefer that all students use Microsoft Copilot where possible to ensure the security of university and student data. Let's start by looking at some practical ways that GenAI tools can help support your everyday study outside of your assessments. You could use Copilot or another tool to help you revise by prompting the tool to create practice questions, quizzes, or flashcards to help test your knowledge. You could also use these tools to brainstorm research or essay topics, and GenAI tools are also useful for summarizing texts, for example your lecture notes, but just make sure that you check the permissions for what you share with the tool. You could also use GenAI for time management, for example asking the tool to design a study schedule, plan your semester, or prioritize tasks. This one could be especially useful in the Southern Cross model. Another common use case is to use the GenAI tool as a study buddy to help you understand key concepts in your learning tasks, and you could prompt the tool to describe a theory in simple terms like the prompt on screen. Just remember that this information should be fact-checked, and you should also engage in course materials and scholarly resources. GenAI tools can also be used to assist research, but it's important to remember that GenAI tools are not a search engine, nor are they an academic source. Instead, use GenAI tools as part of the process to develop keywords and search strategies. Brainstorming is another good use for GenAI tools, especially if you are having trouble thinking about possible keywords to use for your searches. Here you can see that the prompt is asking for some research subject headings or alternate keywords for a topic question. This is really helpful when you're new to a topic and not sure about what keywords to use. To take this a step further, you could also prompt the tool to format these keywords into a search strategy using Boolean logic. This is a good way to start your searches, but they may need adjusting depending on your chosen database and results list. To also assist with your searching, the library has recently adopted a generative AI-powered tool which is useful as a starting point for your research and general study. The tool allows you to search the SCU library catalogue using natural language questions. The tool then analyzes descriptions and abstracts from trusted academic resources to generate an overview of the tool's top 5 ranked relevant sources to answer your question. The in-text citations are also included to show how each article has contributed to the answer. Although the Primo Research Assistant is not suitable for comprehensive searches, it is useful for quick searches and is a good starting point for commencing your research and gathering initial insights on a topic. To access the Primo Research Assistant, you want to find one of the library search bars either on My SCU or the library homepage. Click Search without adding any search terms, which will open up to our library catalogue. On the top bar here you can see Research Assistant and click to open. You will need to sign in. Now you can ask your research question in natural language. For example, what are the effects of climate change on coral reefs? The tool will now generate the 5 most relevant resources for us and will give us an overview. Here you can see that it's got the numbers at the end, indicating the source of the information. For example, number 1 correlates to article number 1. If we wanted to access an article, we can download the PDF, view full text online, or view more details and request options. Following these links will redirect you to the library catalogue listing where you can find all of your availabilities and bibliographic details for your article. Moving on to using GenAI tools in your assessment. First, you must check to confirm whether GenAI use is permitted in your assessment task. Your unit assessor will let you know what level of use is allowed for each task within the assessment brief. Understanding what is allowed and not is key to staying on track. So always check the descriptor for your task and keep a record of how you've used the GenAI tool, just in case you need to show proof of this later. Now let's look at some practical use cases for how GenAI can support your assessments. You can see on this slide that the GenAI tool has been used to help plan an assessment structure. This prompt has asked a GenAI tool to structure a 1,500-word essay into manageable paragraph sizes. This can help you stay on track with your word count. For a written or essay style assessment item, you could also use a tool for planning the structure of an essay, ask it to create a study plan, ask it to explain theories, or to help with keyword searches. These would all be appropriate uses for a level 1 or 2 GenAI use. You may want to pause the video to read the prompts more thoroughly. For an assessment item which is a presentation or oral style assessment item, you could also use GenAI tools to clarify concepts, brainstorm ideas for your title slides or themes, ask it to suggest a presentation layout, or use the AI tool to design visual aids such as diagrams or flowcharts to enhance your presentation. Last but not least, let's look at what to avoid with academic use of GenAI. The main thing to remember is that GenAI is not supposed to replace your learning or write your assessments for you. You still need to fully engage in your learning resources and write your own assessments. This means that you should not copy and paste anything from GenAI or pass GenAI work as your own. You also should not blindly trust GenAI outputs as they are known to hallucinate facts and references. Students also need to be aware of the university's academic integrity guidelines, which we also have another GenAI video about. And finally, it's important to keep copyright laws in mind when working with GenAI tools. Only use materials that you have the right to share and avoid uploading content that you don't own, as some tools may store it or use it to retrain their tools. University-provided tools like Microsoft Copilot or Primo Research Assistant are safer since they don't train the tools on your data. And if you're unsure, ask your unit assessor or course coordinator before using AI. Finally, I'll leave you with some support options for the library. If you ever have a question, please don't hesitate to ask us on the library chat or send us an email. All the best with using GenAI in your assignments and study.